Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. I've been playing a lot of top tier air, but also some ground recently, and I've been noticing something. Top tier has become bottom tier, and I'll go over what I mean in just a second. Now, you see a lot of players at top tier, and when I say top tier, I don't mean exclusively rank 7, or in the future whenever they add rank 8 or whatever they do, but I mean rank 5, rank 6, more specifically rank 6 and rank 7. So the top 2 ranks, what you can basically buy your way into with money, and you can get yourself into rank 7, tier 7 with Golden Eagles if you purchase the Leopard 2 PL or the SU-22 as well. So those are buyable places. They said that they would not include a premium top tier vehicle. Gaijin has kept its word, but you do still have access to squadron vehicles at top tier. But either way, functionally for this video, top tier is rank 6, rank 7. But that being said, I've been noticing a ton of players, a ton of people at the higher ranks who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. And of course, this has been a trend in WarThunder for a while, ever since they've started releasing higher BR vehicles, such as the MiG-23 MF, the Leopard 2 PL, which itself saw a BR decrease because of how bad the win rate was, but everybody who's played the game for a long time kind of knew that that would happen. The F4F early, the F5C, the A5C, the A10, really any sort of top tier premium, or again, functionally top tier premium that you see is now being bought and just completely controlled by noobs. And you can go to a lot of these people and you can look at their profile, and all they have is like 400 matches with like one vehicle, and that's it. And a lot of the time, and I see this over and over and over again, you look at their win rate, it's like 35%. And then you look at, oh, they've died 180 times and they've got 30 kills. It's like, how? You know, and I've said this many times over a long period of time that we have a big problem in WarThunder where people, and this is not just WarThunder, but any game that allows you to buy your way into the top level of the game, where people don't know what they're buying. Right, so you get these vehicles that are very difficult to play, and they might seem fun because they're fast, they have powerful weapons, whatever. But the fact is that you will be jumping into a seal clubbing match, and this is what I mean by saying that top tier is now bottom tier, because people get in trouble if you are a top level player. So you're a level 100 player, you've got a few thousand matches under your belt, 10,000 plus matches, and you just want to go chill out and play some Panzer IIIC matches, or you want to go into bottom tier, like biplane matches, whatever. And you just absolutely dominate, whether it's AB, RB, Sim even, whatever the case may be, you dominate. That's in WarThunder parlance, seal clubbing, because you are a top level player beating up on defenseless people. And that is actually a big gatekeeping thing. I don't like using these fancy terms, these buzzwords that new age people use, because most of them are hipsters and I can't stand hipsters, but I'll just use the term gatekeeping for the purpose of this video, and that keeps a lot of people from really wanting to get into the game. Now, much the same way, people are kind of doing that themselves by buying their way into these top level matches, which is a big problem for people wanting to actually continue to play the game. I mean, what's the point of continually wanting to play the game? You buy yourself a $60 vehicle, $60 USD, whether it's the XM1, the T72 AV Terms, AV8A. I think the AV8A is still $60, but either way, $50, $60, F5C, what have you, and you get yourself into a top level match, and you only have maybe like 20 matches before that you've ever played in WarThunder, and you get absolutely annihilated. Not just the first time, not the second, 5th, 10th, 20th, 50th time, you get annihilated through your first like 200 matches. And those people are like, man, why do I want to play this game if it's just going to be like this? And in that way, people are bringing the seal clubbing because they are so inexperienced to top tier. Top tier has become a seal clubbing fest. There are so many times, especially in Air RB, when you take off and then a MiG-23 MF just nosedives right on the landing, like right on the runway, or an F4F early. I remember for a very long time, and I used to play a lot of Air AB. Even at top tier, I would play a lot of Air AB, and I should still be playing a lot of Air AB because I'm in a squadron that focuses on it, but that's beside the point. Where for the first 2 months after the F4F early came out, I did not see a single one get a kill in Air AB. And bear in mind, Air AB is supposed to be more beginner friendly. No one got a kill with the F4F early, and of course that was not going to be the case in Air RB, but insofar as my experience with Air AB is concerned, there were not any kills, which is ridiculous. But that just goes to show you have a lot of new players getting into top tier, and in that regard, these bottom tier players that if they didn't buy their way into top tier, are bottom tier, are now buying their way into top tier, and they're making top tier into bottom tier because they're bringing their bottom tier talent, their skill level, not talent, but their skill level into top tier, and they're making it into a seal clubbing fest. So that's why, for example, a few weeks ago, I was actually playing with another user. He actually goes by Legend Hunter. I have actually linked him in a previous community post. You want to check out his YouTube, he's got good stuff. Anyways, I was playing with him a few weeks ago, and I had my J29F. And of course, that's around a 9.0 BR plane. There are a ton of premium planes around 9.0 BR. Unfortunately, I did not record the match, but of course, Legend Hunter can back me up on this. I went 5-0 in like the first 3 minutes with that plane because everyone was just lining up. It was almost as though they were baby seals being clubbed, unfortunately. And I really don't like the lingo, so to speak, but of course, again, that's just common WarThunder parlance when you have an extremely skilled player versus extremely unskilled players. And it's just insane whether you're flying against A4s, F5Cs. Whenever I see an F5C in a match and I'm in my F4, I don't care if that thing can technically outturn me, the player won't outturn me. It's just that simple. Most of the time, you can exploit their lack of knowledge to absolutely annihilate them. And it sucks, you know, but it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And again, I've constantly said this time and time and time again. And I have tons of reviews for top-tier vehicles, whether it is the Harrier GR1, even a G91 R4 that's close enough to top tier. You have tons of vehicles that I've done reviews on at or near top tier, and I want people to be informed on these vehicles, but at the same time, and I've said this in many of my other videos, that I want people to know, especially if you're a noob, top tier is almost never going to be the place for you. Trust me. If you feel like you are getting annihilated at bottom tier, the only way to make that worse is to buy a ticket into top tier, and then you'll be annihilated even worse because you'll be getting concentrated. You'll be getting killed. Once people realize, with the exception of maybe the A5C, because more experienced players tend to buy the A5C, just because it's a much better plane and it's in the Chinese tech tree. Fewer noobs really want to get into the Chinese tech tree, but in my opinion, the A5C is amazing. But with the exception of some planes, people automatically know which planes are being piloted by noobs. I mean, you're not going to have a MiG-23 MLD that is piloted by a noob. There's very few people that spend tons of money to literally use convertible research to buy their way through a tech tree. Those people are either insane, wealthy, or they are being paid by Gaijin. There's no way around it. There's one or the other. You know, of course, you can occasionally purchase your convertible RP, but people that grind their way through the tech trees are going to be very good for the most part. There are some exceptions, but if you make your way all the way to top tier, you're typically going to be very good. My win rate speaks for itself. Whenever I go into top tier, I consider myself to be generally very good. Very, very often, I'm getting middle of the match, maybe top 5 or 6. It's not all that common, especially in ground RB, that I'm number 1. I always do pretty decently, but never amazingly. Or somewhat uncommonly do I do amazingly. Of course, I mean, I do get my top 3 matches. Not all too incredibly rarely, but whatever, that's beside the point. Either way, you buy yourself into that skill level of play, and you are not going to have a good time as a new player. You're just not. You know, there's very few people who have the regular tech tree vehicles that don't know what they're doing in some capacity. But you as a new player, I keep seeing, even now, it's been about a month or 2 months after the A10's been released, that plane has 480 countermeasures as of current, and I can shoot an AIM-9B at it. I think I've shot like AIM-9Ds at it before, and they just get shot down. You know, I mean, very easy to dodge these missiles, especially with a plane like that that's actually pretty maneuverable, plus it has countermeasures, But of course, the noobs are behind the wheel of it, or behind the pilot stick of it, so to speak, and it gets crushed match in, match out. And it's not fair in many ways, but, you know, again, I had that one match where I had 5 kills. And you will constantly see there's very few people at top tier who get 3, 4, 5 kills in a match, and most of those kills aren't noobs that they're killing. It just is going to happen. And as much as I hate to say it, and I am very much a guide channel, I like to perceive myself as a guide channel, I always try to tell noobs, especially noobs, steer clear of buying top tier unless you know what you're doing. It took me until I was like 9.0 BR to actually be able to functionally use an XM1 okay in a match. You know, I had like 7.7, 8.0 BR tanks I had researched up through that much with the ground tech tree for the Americans, and then I purchased the XM1, and I was getting crushed every single match to the point where I just said, okay, you know what, I stink, I have to put this away, I'm gonna go play this another day once I get better. And then I got better, and guess what? It's a much better vehicle for me now. But again, top tier, because of that lack of knowledge, and because of people really just wanting to skip the line, kind of like buying one of those fast passes in any theme park that you can get, they have no idea what they're getting into, and they've got more money than they do skill. So trust me guys, do not do it if you are a noob. Work your way up to top tier, and when you are at top tier, you will see exactly what I mean when I say again, it has become bottom tier. You will seal club the ever-living daylights out of every other player who buys premium vehicles and just makes their way up to top tier because of that. There's very few times where you can buy a vehicle and just make your way up to top tier, have no experience, and just be good. It's almost never going to happen, whether it's tanks, ships, or airplanes. Trust me, top tier has now become bottom tier, and because of that, there is seal clubbing, believe it or not, at top tier. Either way, thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. This is not meant to be a negative video at all. Again, I like to fancy myself as a guide channel, especially for noobs, and I want noobs to succeed. And the way to succeed is the way to move slowly and get better at the game, and then make your way up to top tier after you have some experience. So I just want you guys to do well, and I don't want top tier. I want top tier to be more competitive rather than just high skill players preying on low skill players because they bought their way up to top. Anyways, again, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Is this an actual problem? Am I making this up? Is this something that I just kind of ranted about to make a video? I don't know. But again, I just want to hear your opinions. So either way, thanks again, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.